Across the country, a desperate search for a signal, the day thrown into turmoil.
I woke up and I thought maybe I haven't paid my bills or something like that.
My schedule is usually jam-packed. I've got, clients and things all the time, so I'm sure a lot of them need to get a hold of me and can't, so it's kind of a little bit worrisome for sure.
Untethered from the online world, people sought an internet oasis anywhere they could. This library north of Toronto was swarmed by those who usually work from home, so many that they overwhelmed the server.
For 2 years and a half, I never experienced something like this, but there's always a first time.
The Rogers network went down early Friday morning, wireless, cable, and internet, affecting every corner of Canada. At this pharmacy in Fredericton, work ground to a halt.
My ability to process prescriptions, ring people through the cash register, answer phones is completely non-existent at the moment.
The ripple effect meant payment systems like Interac were down. A major hit to the bottom line for some.
I'm just a little small fry down here, but there's lots of small businesses that thrive on tourism, and we have a short window.
Police warned Rogers customers could have trouble calling 911. And some hospitals asked staff to come in for on-call shifts. Others redirected patients. For travelers, there were problems with the ArriveCan app, and airline call centers were down.
Look at this situation. Apparently, we are all connected, depends on the internet right now. That's really scary.
Rogers went down early Friday morning around 5 a.m., but it didn't send out its first statement, a tweet, until almost 4 hours later.
We are focused very, very hard on obviously understanding that root cause.
The company has apologized and said it had let down its customers.
We don't yet understand the root cause of why this has happened. We don't understand how the different levels of redundancy that we build across the network coast to coast have not worked.
Steve, we're getting a bit of an update tonight from Rogers, though, on where things stand.
Some good news tonight, Vashi, and it came to us through our IT department, not through Rogers' public channels. They say that their core networks were down, but they are starting to recover, so some people should see service, but that recovery is happening slower than anticipated. And Rogers says that in the past, after previous outages, they have provided credits to customers, and they will do so this time around, and they will provide information on that at a later date, provided, of course, you actually have an internet connection so you can see their online posts on that. Vashi?
Thanks so much, Steve. The CBC's Stephen D'Souza. This outage also raises the question about why there isn't a backup system in place. And as Renee Filippone shows us, it's reigniting a broader conversation about Canada's telecommunications industry.
For so many cut off from the digital world, a major realization.
We depend too much on it, like way too much.
And calls for major change.
I think once the outage is over, we shouldn't miss this opportunity to reimagine how we provide these services and who provides them and how we can achieve more competition.
There is little choice for Canadian consumers, with just 3 major national telecommunication providers, Rogers, Bell, and TELUS. This is not the first major outage for Rogers. Last year, a similar failure was caused by a software update. This expert says there needs to be a better backup plan.
The first would just to be to ensure that we had the right analog backup systems, right? We need to have pen and paper, offline options for the services that we're providing as much as possible. Second, I would like to see a publicly owned, at least backup system for these services.
There are also concerns about how things have been communicated with customers.
They were very cryptic about the source of the problem. They didn't seem to indicate whether they had an estimate for when it would come back online or even what it was about.
The Public Interest Advocacy Centre, a consumer advocate, has filed a request with the CRTC to open an inquiry into what happened.
Well, there's always political will when there's popular will. So if consumers are very unhappy about this, if they can focus their anger and take the time to contact their member of parliament.
All this at a time when Rogers is trying to grow and take over Shaw Communications. That would make it the biggest telecommunications company in Canada. But the merger is being held up by the Competition Bureau. Renee Filippone, CBC News, Vancouver.